Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed, struggling to find peace amidst the chaos of daily life? Or wondered why, despite everything you do, true happiness seems just out of reach? And here's a deeper question. Could healing your mind naturally be the answer to transforming your life? Imagine waking up every morning with clarity, calmness, and a sense of purpose, no matter what challenges the day might bring. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you it's not as hard as you think? Let's take a simple example. Think about a glass of muddy water. If you keep stirring it, it stays murky. But if you leave it alone, the mud settles and the water becomes clear. The same happens with our minds when we embrace natural healing practices inspired by Buddhist wisdom. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. On this channel, we dive deep into ancient teachings and practical methods to help you live a healthier, happier, and more balanced life. Before we move forward, let me remind you, there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of you subscribe. If you're finding value here, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help us grow and share this knowledge with the world. Buddhism teaches us that healing begins from within. It's not just about curing physical illness, but addressing the root causes of suffering, our negative emotions, unhealthy attachments, and restless minds. The journey to healing yourself naturally doesn't require drastic changes or expensive treatments. Instead, it calls for small but mindful steps every day. Through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and self-awareness, you can start calming your mind, gaining control over your emotions, and creating inner peace. Buddhist wisdom shows us that true healing lies in aligning our thoughts, actions, and intentions with the principles of compassion, kindness, and balance. Over the next few parts, we'll explore this journey in detail, uncovering techniques and insights that can help you heal your life naturally. Stay with us because what you'll discover may just be the transformation you've been searching for. Understanding the roots of suffering, the Four Noble Truths. Suffering. It's a word that often feels heavy, isn't it? It's something we all experience in one form or another. You might be facing challenges in relationships, work stress, or even just the constant pull of thoughts racing in your mind. But have you ever asked yourself, why do I suffer? Or what is the root of this pain? Buddhism offers us a clear answer to this question through the Four Noble Truths. These truths are not just philosophical ideas, they are practical principles, like a map that guides us out of the maze of suffering. They show us how we can heal, grow, and ultimately find peace. The first noble truth, the truth of suffering, dukkha. The first noble truth is simple, yet profound. Life is filled with suffering. This is not a pessimistic view of the world. It's a realistic one. Think about your life. Even on the best days, things may not always go exactly as planned. We experience physical pain, emotional turmoil, and moments of frustration. Even when we are happy, there's always that underlying fear that happiness is temporary, that we will lose it one day. This suffering can take many forms: birth, aging, illness, death, and even moments of separation from what we love. We often get caught in the idea that we can escape suffering altogether. But the truth is, suffering is an inevitable part of life. This doesn't mean we are destined to live in misery. Instead, it means that by accepting this truth, we can begin to understand and deal with it more effectively. The second noble truth, the truth of the cause of suffering, samadaya. The second truth explains why we suffer. Desire and attachment are the root causes of suffering. We desire things, success, love, wealth, and security, but when we don't get them, or when they slip away, we suffer. Have you ever clung so tightly to something, whether it was a material object, a person, or a goal, and felt the sting of loss when it was gone? This is the nature of desire. It's insatiable. When we attach ourselves to things, people, or situations, we are setting ourselves up for pain, because nothing in life is permanent. But here's the key. Our suffering doesn't come from the desire itself, but from our attachment to it. If we could learn to let go, to not hold so tightly to the things we want, we would experience less pain. Buddhism teaches us that desire is natural, but attachment is what brings suffering. The third noble truth, the truth of the end of suffering, nirodha. Now that we've looked at the cause of suffering, let's talk about the good news. The third noble truth is about hope and healing. suffering can end. It's not about escaping life, but about changing our relationship with it. If desire and attachment are the roots of suffering, then by learning to let go, we can find freedom. Think of it like this. Imagine your mind is a garden. If you plant seeds of attachment, they will grow into weeds of suffering. But if you plant seeds of detachment, acceptance, and peace, you'll cultivate a garden of serenity. When you free yourself from unhealthy attachments, you create space for true peace and contentment. The end of suffering is possible, but it requires practice, mindfulness, and understanding. The fourth noble truth, the truth of the path to the end of suffering, Magga. The fourth noble truth shows us the way, the path to freedom from suffering. This is where the Buddhist teachings of the Eightfold Path come in. It's a set of guidelines, not rules, but practices that lead us toward enlightenment and inner peace. The Eightfold Path is the map that shows us how to live a life that's free from suffering. These 8 practices are: right understanding, understanding the Four Noble Truths and the nature of suffering. It's about seeing the world clearly, without distortion or illusion. Right intention, cultivating thoughts of kindness, compassion, and renunciation of harmful desires. Our intentions shape our actions, so we must cultivate pure intentions. Right speech, speaking truthfully, kindly, and wisely. Our words have power, and when used well, they can heal, uplift, and connect us with others. Right action, acting in ways that promote peace and avoid harm. This includes following ethical practices and living with integrity. Right livelihood, choosing a career or way of life that is ethical, peaceful, and beneficial to others. This means making a living in ways that do not harm or exploit others. Right effort, putting in the effort to improve yourself, to develop good qualities, and to abandon negative ones. It's about striving for progress, not perfection. Right mindfulness, practicing mindfulness, being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions in the present moment. This helps you stay grounded and aware, free from distractions. Right concentration, developing the ability to concentrate deeply, especially through meditation. With a focused mind, we can see things clearly, without the noise of emotions and distractions clouding our judgment. The Eightfold Path isn't something you have to complete in a week or a year. It's a lifelong journey. Every step you take on this path brings you closer to healing and peace. Embracing the Four Noble Truths in daily life. It's easy to understand the Four Noble Truths in theory, but how do we apply them in our everyday lives? The good news is that these truths can be practiced in small, simple ways every day. Here are a few examples of how to start. Mindful awareness. When you feel frustrated or anxious, pause for a moment. Recognize that this is suffering and ask yourself, what is the cause of this feeling? Is it my attachment to something I want or fear losing? By acknowledging this, you can begin to let go of that attachment. Letting go of desires. If you find yourself constantly desiring more success, more attention, more possessions, ask yourself if these things will truly bring lasting happiness. Shift your focus to what you already have and practice gratitude. Practicing kindness. In your interactions with others, practice right speech and right action. Speak kindly, act with integrity, and try to help others when you can. This doesn't just benefit those around you. It brings peace to your own heart. Creating space for mindfulness. Dedicate a few minutes each day to mindfulness practice. Whether it's through meditation, breathing exercises, or simply paying attention to the present moment, mindfulness helps you stay grounded and aware, preventing unnecessary suffering. A practical approach to healing. The beauty of the Four Noble Truths is that they offer a practical way to heal, not just on a surface level but deeply within. Buddhism isn't about avoiding life's challenges, it's about understanding them, embracing them, and learning how to deal with them skillfully. Through mindfulness, detachment, and compassion, we can transform our suffering into a source of wisdom. Healing naturally doesn't mean we ignore our pain or pretend it doesn't exist. It means we accept it, understand its causes, and find the wisdom to let go. When we do this, we create space for healing, both for ourselves and for others. By living in accordance with the Four Noble Truths, we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering. This journey may not be easy, but it's the most profound path to inner peace and freedom. And the more we walk it, the more we come to understand that suffering, like everything else, is impermanent, and healing, too, is within our reach. Mindful living, the art of present moment awareness. Let's talk about something very simple yet incredibly powerful, being present. How often do we really focus on what's happening right now, in this very moment? Most of the time, our minds are either stuck in the past, replaying old memories, or rushing into the future, worrying about what's to come. But the truth is, the only moment that truly exists is the present one. And this is where the magic of mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment, with full awareness and without judgment. It's like training your mind to observe everything around you, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, as they arise, without getting caught up in them. Imagine sitting quietly and simply noticing your breath. Feel the air enter and exit your body. Don't try to change anything, just observe. This is mindfulness in its most basic form. Now, you might be wondering, why is this important? Why should I take the time to focus on the present moment? The reason is simple. When we are fully present, we stop living in the past or future, and we open ourselves to what's happening right now. This creates a sense of peace and calm because we're no longer overwhelmed by the weight of our memories or the fear of what might happen next. In fact, one of the most significant aspects of mindfulness is that it helps reduce stress and anxiety. When we're anxious, our minds tend to race. We worry about everything that could go wrong, and this makes us feel overwhelmed and helpless. But mindfulness teaches us to gently bring our attention back to the present moment, to the simple sensations of life that we often overlook, the sound of birds outside, the warmth of the sun, or the taste of a meal. By focusing on these simple experiences, we break the cycle of worry and feel more grounded. Buddhism, in its essence, has always emphasized the importance of mindfulness. In fact, it's one of the core teachings of the Buddha. He spoke of mindfulness as the key to liberation, saying, "Mindfulness is the path to the deathless." This means that when we cultivate mindfulness, we transcend suffering and discover a state of peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. When you practice mindfulness, you also learn to become more aware of your own thoughts and emotions. This is a very powerful tool for self-awareness. Most of the time, we act on autopilot, letting our emotions and reactions control us. But mindfulness allows us to observe these reactions without immediately acting on them. For example, the next time you feel angry, instead of reacting with harsh words or actions, take a moment to pause and notice what's happening inside you. Ask yourself, what is causing this anger? Is it really worth reacting to? This pause gives you the space to choose a response that is calm and thoughtful, rather than being controlled by your emotions. As you begin to practice mindfulness, you'll also start to see the impact it has on your relationships with others. When you're truly present with someone, when you listen to them without distractions or judgments, it creates a deep sense of connection. People feel heard and understood, and this builds trust and harmony. It's a powerful way to improve communication and resolve conflicts. In Buddhism, there's a concept called right speech, which is part of the Eightfold Path. Right speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and with consideration for others. It's about being mindful of the words you use and the impact they have. When we are mindful in our speech, we create an environment of respect and compassion. This is essential for building healthy relationships, whether at home, at work, or in the community. Mindfulness is not just about meditation. It's a way of living. It's about being present in everything you do, whether you're eating, walking, working, or talking to someone. Even small actions, when done mindfully, can bring a sense of joy and fulfillment. For example, the next time you eat a meal, try eating without any distractions. Don't rush. Simply enjoy the taste, the texture, the colors, and the smells of your food. Notice how it feels to nourish your body. This is a simple but powerful way to practice mindfulness. You can also bring mindfulness into your daily activities. If you're walking, pay attention to each step. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice the sensation of movement in your body. When you're working, be fully present with each task. Rather than multitasking or rushing, focus on one thing at a time. This doesn't just increase your efficiency, but also brings a sense of calm and satisfaction because you're no longer scattered or distracted. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a practice called walking meditation, where the act of walking becomes a form of mindfulness practice. You take slow, deliberate steps, paying attention to every movement of your feet. You feel the connection with the earth, and with each step, you bring your mind back to the present. This simple practice is incredibly grounding and helps you connect with the present moment in a very direct way. Mindfulness also helps you develop patience. In a world where everything is fast-paced and immediate, we often become impatient with ourselves and others. But when we practice mindfulness, we learn to slow down. We learn to take our time, to observe, and to be patient with whatever comes our way. Instead of rushing through life, we begin to savor each moment, understanding that life unfolds at its own pace. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we are attached to things, whether it's a desire for pleasure, avoidance of pain, or expectations about how life should be. Mindfulness helps us break free from these attachments. By observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment, we begin to see that they are impermanent. Emotions come and go. Thoughts arise and pass away. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to let go of the need to control everything and simply experience life as it is, moment by moment. One of the beautiful things about mindfulness is that it's available to everyone, all the time. You don't need to go to a special place or spend hours in meditation to practice it. It's about shifting your attention and being fully engaged with whatever you're doing. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to be present, and the more you'll experience the peace and contentment that comes with it. So, how do you start? Begin by simply setting aside a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness. Sit quietly and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. You can also practice mindfulness while doing everyday activities, like washing dishes or walking. The key is to bring your full attention to whatever you're doing and notice the small details of your experience. With time, you'll begin to notice the profound impact mindfulness has on your life. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not just about being present in the moment, but also about developing a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. It's a way to see things clearly, without the distortion of our desires, fears, and attachments. It's about waking up to life as it truly is, beautiful, impermanent, and full of potential for healing and growth. By practicing mindfulness, you are not just improving your mental health, you are also deepening your spiritual awareness. You are cultivating wisdom, compassion, and understanding, which are the foundations of true healing. So, embrace mindfulness as a way of life. Start small, stay consistent, and watch as it transforms your experience of the world. The path to balance, the eightfold path in everyday life. Life often feels like a balancing act, doesn't it? We juggle work, family, relationships, and the never-ending demands of modern living. With so much going on, it's easy to feel like we're losing control. But what if the key to living a more balanced and peaceful life has already been written down for us? What if we could follow a path that helps us manage every part of life with calmness, wisdom, and purpose? Buddhism offers us just such a path, the Eightfold Path. This isn't some mystical, unreachable set of rules. It's a guide for living a more peaceful, meaningful life. It's practical, simple, and incredibly effective. Let's walk through it together and see how it can help bring balance to your life, no matter what's happening around you. The Eightfold Path is divided into 8 principles, but don't be intimidated. These principles are interconnected and work together to help us live better. You don't need to follow them perfectly, but even small steps in these directions can make a world of difference. 1. Right understanding, Samadhi. This is about seeing the world as it truly is, without distortion. It's about understanding the nature of suffering, its causes, and how we can end it. When we have right understanding, we know that life is not always easy. There will be challenges, pain, and loss. But we also understand that we have the power to change how we respond to these challenges. This doesn't mean we ignore our problems or pretend everything is fine when it's not. Instead, it means we face life with a clear and honest perspective, accepting that things come and go, and learning from them. For example, when you lose something important or face a setback, right understanding helps you see that this loss is a part of the natural flow of life. It allows you to accept it without clinging to it and to find the wisdom within the experience. 2. Right intention, Samma Sankappa. Right intention is about having the right kind of mindset, the right motivations. It's about choosing to act with kindness, compassion, and a sense of purpose. It's easy to go through life just reacting to things, letting our emotions or desires take the lead. But right intention encourages us to be more deliberate in our choices. When we set intentions rooted in kindness, we make decisions that lead to peace and happiness. For instance, if you're working on a project at work, right intention means you're doing it with the aim to help others, not just to prove yourself. You're focused on creating something meaningful, not just on achieving personal success. 3. Right speech, Samavaka. This is one of the simplest, yet most profound teachings of the Eightfold Path. Right speech teaches us to speak truthfully, kindly, and in a way that brings harmony rather than conflict. We've all been in situations where words have caused pain, either from ourselves or from others. Right speech encourages us to think before we speak and to avoid gossip, lies, or harmful words. When you speak with honesty and respect, it builds trust and understanding. Whether it's a conversation with a friend, a colleague, or a family member, your words have the power to heal or hurt. Choosing your words with care and compassion can make a big difference in how you feel and how others feel around you. 4. Right action, Samakamanta. Right action is about living in a way that is ethical and kind. It's about making choices that benefit others and ourselves and avoiding actions that harm. Every day, we have countless opportunities to act, whether it's how we treat our family, how we respond to someone in need, or even how we treat the environment. Right action encourages us to live with integrity, to act in ways that promote peace, and to avoid actions that bring harm. For example, choosing to help someone in need, avoiding selfish behaviors, or even making mindful choices about what we eat. All of these are examples of right action. 5. Right livelihood, Sama Ajiva. This principle encourages us to make a living in a way that does not harm others. It's about choosing work that aligns with our values and contributes positively to the world. Many people feel disconnected from their jobs because they don't see how their work makes a difference. But right livelihood invites us to find purpose in what we do, ensuring that our work supports our well-being and doesn't cause harm to others. If you're in a job that makes you feel uncomfortable or disconnected, right livelihood suggests you consider how you can make a positive impact through your work. It may not always mean changing careers, but it could mean changing your perspective, your actions, or finding ways to bring more purpose into what you do every day. 6. Right effort, Samavayama. Right effort is about putting energy into the right things and avoiding energy drains. It's about cultivating good qualities in ourselves, like kindness, patience, and mindfulness, while reducing harmful habits like anger or greed. Right effort isn't about being hard on ourselves, but about gently and consistently encouraging positive change. For example, you might be trying to reduce stress. Right effort means practicing mindfulness, making time for rest, and developing healthy habits that keep your mind and body at peace. It's not about pushing yourself beyond your limits, but about taking small, steady steps towards well-being. 7. Right mindfulness, Samasati. Mindfulness is about being fully present in each moment, without getting lost in thoughts about the past or future. It's about noticing the small things around us, the way the air feels, the sound of birds chirping, or the way our body feels as we walk. Right mindfulness encourages us to pay attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of how our mind works and how it influences our emotions and actions. We start to notice when we're slipping into negative patterns of thinking or behavior, and we can make adjustments before they take over. Mindfulness helps us stay grounded and peaceful, even in the midst of life's storms. 8. Right concentration, Samasamadhi. The final principle is about developing deep focus and concentration through meditation. Right concentration isn't just about sitting still. It's about training your mind to become focused and calm so that you can see things more clearly. Through meditation, we learn to calm the mind, to stop the constant chatter that keeps us distracted, and to connect with a deeper sense of peace. When we practice right concentration, we can tap into a deeper state of awareness, where we experience life with a sense of clarity and tranquility. It's about quieting the noise in our minds so that we can hear the wisdom within. Healing through meditation, techniques, and practices. In this fast-paced world, where distractions constantly pull us in different directions, finding peace can feel impossible. But there is an ancient practice, one that has been used for thousands of years, which can help bring clarity, stillness, and healing to your mind and body. That practice is meditation. You might be thinking, meditation? Is that all? But let me tell you, the power of meditation lies not just in sitting still. It's about creating a deep connection with your inner self, allowing you to access a space of peace and healing that's already within you. Meditation can transform your life, reduce stress, help manage pain, and give you the clarity you need to navigate your daily challenges. The beauty of meditation is that it's simple and doesn't require any special tools or conditions. You don't need to be in a monastery or a quiet retreat to practice. You can meditate anywhere, at home, on a bus, at work. Wherever you are, you have the ability to turn within and create a space of peace. It's about understanding that healing begins from within, and meditation is the gateway to that healing. Why does meditation work? Meditation works because it helps quiet the mind. The mind is often like a turbulent sea, with waves of thoughts, emotions, and worries constantly crashing. By meditating, you allow those waves to settle, just like how the waters of a lake become calm and clear after a while. When you meditate, you create an inner environment where healing can take place. The more you practice, the more you align yourself with the present moment, releasing the past and not worrying about the future. This present moment awareness is the core of Buddhist practice, and it is the key to unlocking inner peace and healing. The energy in your body, thoughts, and emotions is always flowing. When your mind is busy and scattered, this energy becomes disrupted. Meditation helps to calm this energy flow, allowing it to return to its natural, harmonious state. This is why people who meditate regularly report feeling less stressed, more focused, and even healthier overall. Basic meditation techniques to start with. Now, let's explore some basic meditation techniques. Don't worry, you don't need to be an expert or meditate for hours. The simple act of starting is what matters most. Breathing meditation. One of the easiest ways to begin meditating is through focusing on your breath. Find a quiet spot where you can sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Breathe in slowly and deeply through your nose, and then exhale through your mouth, allowing your body to relax with each breath. Now, focus your attention on your breath. Don't try to control it, just observe it. Notice the sensation of the air as it enters and leaves your body. Thoughts will naturally come and go, but when you notice your mind wandering, simply bring your focus back to your breath. This simple practice can help you anchor yourself in the present moment. Loving kindness meditation, metta. This meditation is rooted in the Buddhist practice of metta, which means loving kindness. It's about cultivating love, compassion, and goodwill towards yourself and others. Start by sitting comfortably and closing your eyes. Focus on your heart center and silently repeat phrases like, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I live with ease." After a few moments, expand this loving kindness towards others. First, send it to someone close to you, then to someone neutral, and even to someone you may be struggling with. This practice helps release negative emotions, fosters compassion, and brings a sense of healing to your heart. Body scan meditation. This meditation is a great way to connect with your body and release tension. Start by lying down in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and slowly bring your attention to each part of your body, one by one. Begin with your toes and move upwards, paying attention to any sensations, tension, or discomfort. Breathe deeply as you focus on each body part, allowing any tension to release with each exhale. By bringing awareness to the body in this way, you not only release physical tension but also connect with how you're feeling emotionally. Often, our bodies hold on to stress and negative energy. A body scan helps to release this, bringing you into a state of relaxation and healing. Guided meditation. If you're new to meditation, guided sessions can be extremely helpful. These are recordings where a teacher or guide leads you through a meditation, often with calming music in the background. Guided meditations can focus on specific goals, such as stress reduction, healing, or finding clarity. There are many free resources online where you can find guided meditations. Choose one that resonates with you and practice regularly. These guided sessions can help you stay focused and deepen your meditation practice. Meditation and healing, the connection. So, how does meditation relate to healing? When we meditate, we clear the clutter of our minds, and in doing so, we make space for healing to occur. We often carry emotional wounds or mental burdens that, over time, can affect our physical health. Meditation helps to release these emotional blockages and bring balance to our mind, body, and spirit. The healing power of meditation is not just limited to the mind. Research has shown that regular meditation can lower blood pressure, boost the immune system, improve sleep, and reduce chronic pain. By calming the mind, we create an environment where our body can begin to heal itself naturally. Meditation for emotional healing. When we hold on to anger, regret, or sadness, it creates an emotional imbalance. These negative emotions affect our overall well-being and can lead to illness or mental unrest. Meditation helps you process these emotions in a healthy way, allowing you to release them without judgment. Through mindfulness and awareness, you begin to see your emotions without getting swept away by them. You learn to acknowledge your feelings, but not to identify with them. This is a crucial step in emotional healing, as it allows you to let go of past hurts and move forward with a lighter heart. The importance of consistency. Like any practice, the benefits of meditation grow the more you practice. It's not about meditating for hours on end. Even a few minutes a day can create significant change over time. Meditation is a journey, not a destination. The more you practice, the more you will experience a deep sense of peace, clarity, and healing. Start small, be patient with yourself, and allow the process to unfold naturally. Remember, the goal of meditation is not to empty your mind or achieve perfection. It's about cultivating awareness, presence, and compassion, which ultimately brings healing to your life. Conclusion: embrace meditation for healing. Meditation is a simple yet powerful tool that can bring profound healing to your mind, body, and spirit. By practicing meditation regularly, you can reduce stress, gain clarity, and open yourself up to a life of peace and balance. Whether you're looking to relieve pain, improve your emotional well-being, or simply find more calm in your daily life, meditation offers a path to healing that is accessible to everyone. Take the first step today and allow the healing power of meditation to transform your life. Compassion as a healer, embracing kindness and forgiveness. When we talk about healing, we often think of taking medicine or finding physical cures. But healing the heart and mind is just as important, and one of the most powerful tools for this is compassion. Compassion is not just a kind thought or a good feeling towards others. It's a deep, understanding love that seeks to heal both the giver and the receiver. In Buddhism, compassion is known as karuna, and it is a core principle in the path toward natural healing. Imagine this. You're carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Every time you hold on to anger, resentment, or even guilt, it's like adding another rock to that backpack. With each negative emotion, the weight gets heavier and the burden becomes harder to bear. But what if you could start putting those rocks down? What if you could let go of those feelings that weigh you down? This is where compassion comes in. It is the key to lightening your load. Compassion begins with yourself. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. We judge ourselves for our mistakes, criticize our weaknesses, and feel as though we are not worthy of kindness. But the truth is, without self-compassion, true healing cannot take place. To heal naturally, we need to start by forgiving ourselves, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, and learning to be gentle with our own hearts. In Buddhism, the practice of self-compassion is rooted in the understanding that we are all connected. When we acknowledge our own suffering, we can also recognize that others are going through similar struggles. This shared experience of being human allows us to open our hearts, not just to ourselves, but to others as well. Compassion for others becomes an extension of the compassion we feel for ourselves. One of the most beautiful aspects of compassion is that it doesn't require us to be perfect. It doesn't mean we have to always be in a good mood or always be happy. Compassion is about understanding, about being present with our emotions without judgment, and offering kindness to ourselves and others, even in our most difficult moments. It is the simple act of being there for ourselves and others with an open heart. Compassion can also act as a form of healing for those around us. When we show kindness to others, we not only help them heal, but we also heal ourselves. When we offer a smile, a kind word, or a helping hand, it creates a ripple effect that spreads warmth and positivity. This is not just about helping others feel better. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings and allowing that awareness to guide us in our interactions with the world. But how do we cultivate compassion in our everyday lives? It starts with awareness. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. We notice when we are being critical, impatient, or harsh, and we can choose to respond with compassion instead. This doesn't mean that we let others walk all over us or allow negative behaviors to go unchecked. Compassion is not weakness, it is strength. It's the strength to choose love and understanding over anger and resentment. In Buddhism, the practice of loving kindness meditation, metta, is a powerful tool for cultivating compassion. In this meditation, we focus on sending love and kindness to ourselves, our loved ones, neutral people, and even those we may have conflicts with. It's a way to break down barriers and open our hearts to everyone without judgment or attachment. When we practice metta, we are not only healing our own hearts, but we are contributing to the healing of the world around us. Another way to practice compassion is through forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the most healing actions we can take, both for ourselves and for others. Holding on to grudges, anger, or resentment is like carrying that heavy backpack we spoke about earlier. It keeps us stuck, unable to move forward. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful actions or forgetting the past. It means releasing the hold that anger and bitterness have on us. When we forgive, we are choosing peace over conflict, freedom over bondage. Forgiveness is not always easy, especially when we've been hurt deeply. But the Buddha teaches us that suffering is a part of life, and we have the power to choose how we respond to it. By choosing forgiveness, we free ourselves from the chains of our past. We allow ourselves to heal, and in turn, we create the space for others to heal as well. Healing through compassion also involves being present with others and their suffering. Often, we try to fix problems or offer solutions. But sometimes the most healing thing we can do is simply be there, listening with an open heart. When we show empathy, when we listen without judgment, we allow others to feel seen and heard. This act of presence is incredibly powerful, and it can help alleviate the pain of those we care about. Compassion is not just a passive feeling, it's an active choice. It's a practice that we can cultivate every day, in small and simple ways. It's in the way we speak to ourselves in the morning, the way we treat others throughout the day, and the way we respond to the challenges that life presents. Every time we choose compassion, we heal a little more. And every time we share that compassion with others, we contribute to a world that is more loving, more peaceful, and more connected. As we continue to walk the path of natural healing, we must remember that compassion is not just a part of the journey. It is the journey. It is the foundation upon which all healing is built. Without compassion, there can be no true healing, for healing requires love, understanding, and the willingness to embrace both ourselves and others in our most vulnerable states. In Buddhism, the ultimate goal is to achieve nirvana, a state of ultimate peace and freedom from suffering. While this is a lofty goal, the practice of compassion brings us closer to that state every day. As we grow in compassion, we find that our hearts become lighter, our minds clearer, and our lives more peaceful. This is the true power of compassion. It is the healing force that transforms everything it touches. In conclusion, embracing compassion as a healer is one of the most profound steps we can take in our journey of natural healing. It's a simple yet transformative practice that can heal wounds we didn't even know we had. By practicing self-compassion, showing kindness to others, and forgiving those who have hurt us, we begin to experience true healing, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. So, let us all strive to live with more compassion, knowing that each act of kindness, no matter how small, has the power to heal and transform. Nature's role in healing. Lessons from Buddhist ecology. When we talk about healing, most of us think about medicine, therapies, or even yoga. But what if the natural world around us could offer something even more profound? In Buddhism, nature is seen not just as a backdrop to our lives, but as a teacher, a healer, and a guide. Let's explore how the natural world can help us heal and why Buddhism values our connection with it so deeply. In the Buddhist tradition, nature is not separate from us. It is an integral part of the interconnected web of life. Everything, from the trees to the mountains, the rivers to the animals, plays a vital role in the balance of the world. In fact, Buddhism teaches that all things in the universe are interconnected through what is known as dependent origination. This means that nothing exists independently. We, the trees, the water, the air, and all living beings are interdependent, affecting each other in ways we might not always notice. When we understand this deep connection, we begin to see nature not as something outside of us, but as part of our own well-being. You might be asking, how can nature help me heal? It's simple. Nature has an inherent ability to restore balance, calm our minds, and heal our bodies. This healing comes in many forms, but one of the most powerful is the practice of mindful presence in nature. Take a moment to think about the last time you went for a walk in a park, sat by a river, or simply gazed at the stars. There's a peace that comes with these experiences. The gentle rustling of leaves, the smell of fresh air, or the sight of a serene sunset can instantly calm our minds. This is because nature encourages us to be fully present in the moment. When we connect with nature, we naturally slow down. Our busy minds take a break from all the distractions of modern life, and we can return to a state of calmness and clarity. Buddhism teaches that mindfulness, being fully present and aware of each moment, is one of the most powerful tools for healing. And what better way to practice mindfulness than in the very environment that can help us reconnect with ourselves? By practicing mindfulness in nature, we can begin to heal not only our physical bodies but also our emotional and mental states. The healing power of plants and trees. Plants and trees have long been symbols of life in Buddhism. Trees, especially, are revered for their ability to give life through their oxygen, provide shelter to animals, and offer beauty to the world. In Buddhism, trees are often associated with enlightenment. Think about the Bodhi tree, where the Buddha attained enlightenment. It was under this tree that he found peace and understanding, symbolizing the deep wisdom and tranquility that nature can offer. Many Buddhist temples have gardens, and monks often retreat into the forest to meditate and find clarity. In fact, some Buddhist teachings suggest that being around trees and plants helps cleanse the mind, much like how water cleanses the body. Plants have the ability to purify the air, and spending time near them can help us clear our own thoughts. In addition to this, many plants have healing properties that are used in traditional Buddhist medicine. Herbs like ginseng, turmeric, and ginger have long been used to promote health and well-being. These plants not only help with physical healing but also work on our energy, balancing our body's natural flow. The simplicity of nature's remedies can offer us powerful results. When we reconnect with the plants that have always been around us, we tap into an ancient wisdom that has been passed down for centuries. Water, a source of purity and renewal. Water plays an equally important role in Buddhist ecology. In Buddhism, water is often seen as a purifier, a source of life, and a symbol of the flow of wisdom. It is said that water has the ability to cleanse our hearts and minds, washing away negativity and impurities. The act of being near water, whether it's a river, a lake, or even the ocean, has a profound effect on our inner peace. Water's ability to cleanse is not just symbolic, it's a physical reality. The sound of flowing water, the sight of waves crashing on the shore, or simply the feeling of water on our skin has an immediate calming effect. Scientists have also found that being near water can lower stress levels and help us feel more grounded. This is why many people feel an overwhelming sense of peace when they visit the sea or walk by a river. In Buddhism, the idea of purification is central to the path of healing. To purify the mind, one must let go of attachment, anger, and desire. In the same way, water helps purify the body and the environment. It can also be a metaphor for purifying our minds from the clutter and noise of everyday life. The next time you're near a body of water, try to sit quietly and focus on the sound of the water. Allow your thoughts to be washed away, and you may find that your mind begins to clear, making space for healing and peace. The role of animals in healing. Another aspect of nature that holds deep significance in Buddhist ecology is the role of animals. Animals are often seen as teachers in Buddhism. They remind us of the simplicity of life and the importance of living in harmony with the world around us. Many Buddhist teachings highlight the qualities of animals, such as the loyalty of dogs, the wisdom of elephants, or the freedom of birds. Each animal has its own unique lesson to teach us about compassion, balance, and coexistence. For example, consider the elephant, which is a symbol of strength and wisdom in Buddhism. Elephants are revered not only for their power, but also for their gentle nature. The way elephants care for their young teaches us the importance of compassion and nurturing. By spending time observing animals, we can learn how to cultivate these qualities in our own lives. Likewise, birds are often seen as symbols of freedom and liberation in Buddhism. They soar freely through the sky, unhindered by the constraints that we humans often place on ourselves. By watching a bird in flight, we are reminded to let go of our worries and attachments, just as the bird is free to move through the air without fear. The presence of animals in nature encourages us to observe the natural world with mindfulness and appreciation. When we do so, we often find that the animals around us have much to teach us about the art of living with peace, patience, and understanding, integrating nature into daily life. So, how can we bring the healing power of nature into our daily lives? The first step is simply to spend more time outdoors. In our modern world, it's easy to forget how important it is to connect with the natural environment. We often spend our days inside, surrounded by screens and artificial light. But just a few minutes in nature can make a huge difference. Start small. Take a walk in a local park, sit under a tree, or simply open your window and breathe in fresh air. Allow yourself to feel the peace that comes from these simple acts. Gradually, you will find that spending time in nature becomes an essential part of your routine. You can also bring nature into your home by incorporating plants and natural elements into your living space. Studies show that having plants around not only improves air quality, but also boosts your mood and productivity. By surrounding ourselves with nature, whether it's through a houseplant or a scenic view, we remind ourselves of the healing power of the natural world. In Buddhism, the connection with nature is not just a physical one. It's a spiritual connection. By respecting the earth, caring for its creatures, and appreciating its beauty, we create a deeper sense of inner peace. Nature becomes a reflection of our own inner state. When we find balance and harmony in the world around us, we begin to find balance within ourselves. As we move forward in this journey of natural healing, remember that nature is not just something to observe. It is something to participate in. It is a partner in our healing, a teacher of patience, and a reminder that all life is sacred. By embracing the natural world, we tap into a profound source of wisdom that can guide us toward greater peace and well-being. The next time you step outside, take a deep breath and remember that the earth is not just a place we live. It is our teacher, our healer, and our sanctuary. The role of detachment, letting go to heal. Life is full of attachments. We attach ourselves to people, possessions, beliefs, and even to our own identities. At first, these attachments seem harmless, maybe even necessary, but over time, they can become the source of our suffering. The more we cling to something, the more it has the power to control us. This is where the concept of detachment comes in, a powerful tool for healing that is deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy. So, what exactly is detachment? It's often misunderstood. Detachment doesn't mean abandoning or withdrawing from life. It doesn't mean we stop caring about our loved ones, our work, or our passions. It means letting go of the unhealthy grip that these things may have over us. Detachment allows us to experience life more fully without being controlled by fear, desire, or the constant need for approval. Imagine your mind is like a balloon, filled with all your desires, attachments, and fears. Every time you cling to something, the balloon gets heavier, and it becomes harder to float freely. Detachment is like letting go of the strings that hold the balloon down. When you release them, you allow yourself to rise higher, with more freedom, peace, and joy. The Buddha taught that attachment is one of the primary causes of suffering. Our attachment to pleasure, possessions, relationships, or even our ideas of who we are, creates expectations. When those expectations are not met, we experience frustration, disappointment, or even despair. This cycle keeps us trapped in a loop of desire and dissatisfaction. The more we desire, the more we are bound by it. True freedom, according to the Buddha, comes from releasing these attachments and allowing life to unfold naturally. One of the key teachings in Buddhism is the understanding that everything in life is impermanent. People, objects, feelings, and even our own bodies, everything changes over time. When we attach ourselves to anything that is temporary, we are setting ourselves up for suffering, because inevitably we will lose it. Detachment helps us accept this impermanence. It teaches us to enjoy life and appreciate the moment without desperately trying to hold on to it. For example, think about a flower. We can admire its beauty, enjoy its fragrance, but we don't try to hold on to it forever. We know that it will eventually wither and fade. This doesn't mean we don't appreciate it while it lasts. In fact, the impermanence of the flower makes its beauty even more precious. Similarly, when we let go of our attachments to people or experiences, we learn to cherish the moments we have with them, knowing that they, too, are fleeting. Letting go of attachment is not a one-time event. It's a practice that takes time and patience. It begins with awareness, noticing where we are clinging and why. For instance, you might realize that you're attached to a certain idea of success. Maybe you feel you need to achieve a specific career goal, own a particular house, or be in a certain relationship to feel validated. But when you truly examine these attachments, you might discover that they come from a place of insecurity or fear, rather than from a genuine desire for happiness. Once you recognize these attachments, you can start to release them. This doesn't mean you stop striving for your goals, but rather that you don't tie your happiness or self-worth to achieving them. You understand that your worth is not defined by external accomplishments, and you can find peace in the process, regardless of the outcome. Buddhism offers many practices to help us detach in a healthy way. One of the most effective is mindfulness. When we practice mindfulness, we become aware of the present moment without judgment. We stop obsessing over what we don't have or what we fear we might lose. Instead, we begin to focus on what is right in front of us, appreciating it fully without holding on to it. Meditation is another powerful tool for detachment. Through meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. We notice the pull of attachment to a particular thought, emotion, or desire, and gently let it go. Over time, this practice helps us cultivate a sense of inner peace and freedom. Letting go of attachment also means embracing the concept of non-attachment. This doesn't mean we become indifferent or detached from life. Instead, it means we approach life with a sense of openness and flexibility. We stop trying to control everything and instead allow life to unfold as it will, knowing that we are part of a much larger, ever-changing process. The power of non-attachment lies in its ability to reduce stress and anxiety. When we are not attached to specific outcomes, we are less likely to feel anxious about the future or regretful about the past. We live more fully in the present, experiencing each moment without the weight of our attachments. This kind of freedom is healing, both for the mind and the body. In our modern world, it's easy to become attached to material possessions, status, or social validation. We chase after external markers of success, thinking that they will bring us lasting happiness. But no matter how much we acquire, it's never enough. The cycle of attachment continues. Buddhism teaches us that true happiness comes not from external things, but from within. By releasing attachments, we make space for inner peace, contentment, and joy that do not depend on anything outside of ourselves. Detachment also brings us closer to the idea of impermanence. When we stop clinging to things, we start to understand that nothing lasts forever. This realization is not something to fear, but to embrace. It frees us from the need to hold on to things that are destined to change. We learn to flow with life's natural rhythms, accepting each phase as it comes, without resistance or fear. Another important aspect of detachment is forgiveness. Often, we hold on to grudges or past hurts, believing that we are protecting ourselves. But in reality, we are only binding ourselves to the past. The act of forgiving, whether it's forgiving someone else or ourselves, is a powerful way of releasing attachment. When we forgive, we let go of the pain and the story we've been telling ourselves about what happened. This doesn't mean we condone harmful actions, but we free ourselves from the grip of resentment and anger. Through detachment, we also learn the art of self-compassion. We stop judging ourselves based on our failures or mistakes. We stop attaching our sense of worth to our accomplishments or appearance. Instead, we accept ourselves as we are, imperfections and all, and allow ourselves the space to grow and heal. Ultimately, detachment is a path to freedom. It's about freeing ourselves from the constant pull of desires, expectations, and attachments that weigh us down. It's about living with a light heart, unburdened by the need for control or possession. When we detach, we make room for what truly matters: peace, love, and the ability to live fully in each moment. Detachment is not a rejection of life, but a deeper acceptance of it. It's the wisdom to know that everything in life is temporary, and that's okay. The beauty of life lies in its impermanence, and when we stop trying to hold on to it, we begin to experience it in all its fullness. This practice of letting go is a powerful form of self-healing, allowing us to live more freely, peacefully, and joyfully. Through detachment, we truly heal. Overcoming obstacles. Buddhist perspectives on inner resilience. Life is a journey full of obstacles. Whether it's personal challenges, emotional struggles, or external difficulties, every one of us faces something that makes us feel as though we can't move forward. But here's the truth: challenges are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. In fact, many of the greatest lessons we learn come from the very obstacles we try to avoid. In Buddhism, obstacles are not seen as enemies, but as opportunities for growth. One of the first lessons Buddhism teaches us is that suffering is a natural part of life. It's not something to fear, but something to accept and understand. According to the Buddhist teachings, we all encounter difficulties, but our response to them defines us. If we react with anger, fear, or despair, we are trapped by the obstacle. However, if we approach it with mindfulness, patience, and resilience, we can transform it into a chance to grow stronger and wiser. Buddhism teaches that we should not resist suffering. Instead, we should understand it, embrace it, and let it teach us. Think about it like a storm. When a storm hits, we cannot stop it, but we can shelter ourselves, wait for it to pass, and then appreciate the calm that follows. This is the essence of resilience. True strength lies not in avoiding the storm, but in knowing that, no matter how strong the winds blow, you can weather it and find peace once again. In the face of hardship, the Buddha encourages us to focus on two key qualities: equanimity and mindfulness. Equanimity is the ability to remain calm and balanced, no matter the circumstances. It's the skill to stay centered even when life is chaotic. Mindfulness, on the other hand, is the practice of being present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions in each moment. These two practices go hand in hand when it comes to overcoming obstacles. To develop equanimity, we need to practice letting go of attachment. Attachment to things, outcomes, and even people creates a sense of instability in our lives. We become dependent on external circumstances to make us happy. But life is constantly changing, and when we attach ourselves too strongly to anything, we set ourselves up for disappointment. The Buddha taught that the path to freedom from suffering is through detachment. This doesn't mean we should stop caring about people or things, but rather, we should learn to love and care without becoming overly attached. This allows us to flow with life's changes instead of resisting them. Mindfulness is another vital tool in overcoming obstacles. By becoming fully present in the moment, we are able to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. This allows us to see obstacles for what they are: temporary and impermanent. When we are mindful, we stop allowing negative thoughts and emotions to control us. We learn to act with intention instead of reacting impulsively. For example, if we're facing a difficult situation, mindfulness helps us to observe our initial reactions, such as frustration or fear, and choose a calmer, more balanced response. Instead of getting stuck in negative emotions, we acknowledge them and move forward with a clear mind. One of the most powerful Buddhist practices to build inner resilience is meditation. Through meditation, we create a space within ourselves where we can cultivate peace and clarity, even amidst the storm of life. Regular meditation practice helps us develop both equanimity and mindfulness, allowing us to face challenges with greater ease. Meditation teaches us to accept our thoughts and feelings without becoming overwhelmed by them. We can observe them like clouds passing through the sky, knowing that no matter how dark or stormy the clouds seem, they will pass. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of compassion in overcoming obstacles. Compassion for ourselves, as well as for others, plays a crucial role in building resilience. When we face difficulties, we often turn inward, criticizing ourselves or feeling sorry for ourselves. However, compassion teaches us to be gentle with ourselves. Instead of focusing on our flaws or failures, we acknowledge our humanity and treat ourselves with kindness. This allows us to move through challenges with a sense of self-worth and love. Similarly, compassion for others helps us feel connected and supported. When we experience difficulties, we might feel isolated, thinking that no one else understands. But by cultivating compassion for others, we realize that everyone is facing struggles of their own. We are not alone in our suffering, and by offering kindness to others, we also heal ourselves. Compassion becomes a source of strength, helping us stay grounded during tough times. In the Buddhist view, impermanence is a fundamental truth of existence. Everything in life, whether good or bad, is temporary. This includes our obstacles. While it may feel like the challenges we are facing will never end, the Buddha reminds us that everything changes. This constant flux is a key part of life. When we remember that obstacles are impermanent, we stop seeing them as permanent roadblocks. Instead, we understand that they are just part of the flow of life. They will come, they will pass, and in time, they will become distant memories. Another important concept in Buddhism is the middle way. The middle way teaches us to avoid extremes in our responses to obstacles. Sometimes, we may try to over-prepare, overthink, or control everything, thinking it will help us avoid difficulties. Other times, we may become overly passive, hoping that everything will magically work out. The middle way teaches us to find balance. It's about facing obstacles with a calm, open mind, without trying to control everything or ignoring the problem altogether. We meet challenges with wisdom and compassion, knowing that balance is key. Resilience also involves gratitude. When facing difficulties, it's easy to focus on what we lack or what is wrong. But the Buddhist practice of gratitude helps us shift our perspective. By regularly taking time to reflect on the things we are grateful for, whether it's our health, our loved ones, or even the lessons we learn through hardship, we cultivate a sense of abundance. Gratitude helps us maintain a positive outlook, even in the midst of challenges. As we navigate life's obstacles, it's important to remember that we are not our problems. In Buddhism, the concept of non-self teaches us that our identity is not tied to our struggles. We are not defined by our difficulties, nor are we limited by them. Our true nature is pure and peaceful, and the obstacles we face are just experiences, not reflections of who we are. When we remember this, we can approach challenges with a sense of detachment, knowing that they do not define us. Finally, remember that resilience is a practice, not a destination. Just as we don't expect to become skilled in meditation overnight, we don't expect to develop resilience instantly. It takes time, patience, and continuous practice. Each obstacle we face is an opportunity to build inner strength and resilience. With every challenge, we learn, grow, and become more grounded in our true nature. Over time, we become more adept at handling life's difficulties with grace, patience, and understanding. Through the teachings of Buddhism, we learn that obstacles are not to be feared, but embraced as opportunities for growth. By practicing mindfulness, equanimity, compassion, and gratitude, we can cultivate the inner strength needed to overcome anything life throws our way. The path may not always be easy, but with each step, we become more resilient, more at peace, and more connected to the deeper wisdom within us. Integration, creating a lifelong journey of natural healing. Dear one, you've walked far on this path. Step by step, you've explored the wisdom of healing yourself naturally. Now we arrive at the final part of this journey, not an ending, but a new beginning. Let us sit together and reflect deeply, so the seeds of wisdom you've gathered may grow into a lifetime of peace and balance. Take a moment to pause. Breathe in deeply and out slowly. Can you feel it? That is the rhythm of life itself. Healing begins and continues in these simple moments. It is not something you achieve and store away. It is something you live every day. Think of everything you've learned so far. You've discovered the power of mindfulness, the gentle strength of compassion, and the profound wisdom of letting go. These are not just ideas. They are tools for life. They are the roots of your tree, steady and deep, no matter how strong the winds blow. But here is the truth many overlook. Healing is not a destination. It is a way of being. It doesn't mean you'll never face pain or challenges again. No, life will always have its storms. But with what you've learned, you will meet those storms with calmness, understanding, and strength. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly listened to yourself? Your inner voice, your body's whispers, your heart's quiet longings? Healing starts there. You don't need to wait for a crisis to begin. Healing happens in the smallest choices. The way you speak to yourself, the time you take to rest, the kindness you show to others. Let's reflect on a simple truth from Buddhism. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. So what will you choose to think? Will you choose thoughts of gratitude, courage, and love? Or will you let fear and doubt rule you? You have the power to decide every moment of every day. Now, let us make this wisdom practical. Start each morning with mindfulness. It doesn't have to be complicated. Simply sit for a few moments, breathe, and remind yourself of your intentions for the day. Be aware of how you move through the world, how you speak, how you act, and how you treat yourself and others. Remember, healing is also about balance. Too much of anything, even something good, can become harmful. Balance your work with rest, your effort with surrender. Balance your striving with acceptance. The middle path is where peace resides. And let us not forget the power of connection. No one heals alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you kindly, who remind you of the beauty in life, and offer that same support to others. When you heal yourself, you become a source of healing for those around you. Finally, let's talk about letting go. So often, our suffering comes from clinging to what was, to what should be, to what we fear. But life is a river, always flowing, never still. When you release the need to control, you create space for joy, peace, and healing. As we close this journey, I want to remind you of something important. You are enough, just as you are. Healing is not about becoming someone else or fixing everything that feels broken. It's about uncovering the light that has always been within you. Now, before we part, let me say this. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of you subscribe. If you found value in this journey, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Help us reach more people who need these teachings. Your support means the world. As you step forward, know that the path of healing is always open to you. It is not something you finish, it is something you live. So walk gently, live mindfully, and remember, every breath is an opportunity to begin again. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you find peace, balance, and healing in every step you take. The light in me honors the light in you.